Hey guys, I know a lot of you have been messaging me on Twitter and Facebook lately about nutrition and training, so I decided to make a little video to help everyone out. Now, first of all, I'd like to say I'm by no means an expert. I didn't go to college for nutrition or exercise physiology. Everything that I learned was either from being a college athlete or talking to my friends or experts and just doing what you're doing, looking things up on the internet. That said, I'm going to go ahead and put together a couple basic parts to try to help out my friends, family, and Twitter followers. Hope you guys enjoy. Understanding fitness and nutrition is how you're going to lose weight and how you're going to get in shape. Um, First of all, you need to write down what your goals are going to be. Is it specifically to lose weight? Is it to gain lean muscle mass? Is it a combination of both? Do you just want to look good aesthetically, or do you want to be an athlete? Um, you just need to assess what's most important to you and then structure a workout around that. You don't have to be a nutritionist or a health expert to understand what it's going to take to lose weight. I'm going to be speaking pretty generally here, but most of the people that are contacting me are saying, hey, I just want to lose fat. I want to lose this gut. I want to look good in a bathing suit. So I'm going to structure everything that I talk about around that. First of all, I'm going to touch base with general nutrition. We need to understand that calories in versus calories burnt are how we lose weight. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really as simple as that. If you're taking in 1,900 calories and you burn 2,200 that day, you're going to lose weight. If you're eating great, you're eating all these healthy foods, loads and loads, but you're eating 2,900 calories of really healthy foods and you're only burning 1,900 calories, you're still going to gain weight. So I now have the sun in my eyes. It's daylight here, but I'm going to go ahead and hammer this out. So it's covering on the difference between a simple carbohydrate and a complex carbohydrate. We got to understand the way these work because it's the most important thing whenever it comes to losing body fat. The way carbs work is when they're digested, they become glucose, and glucose is what's converted into energy in our body. And our pancreas secretes insulin, which is what helps our cells absorb the glucose. But the problem is any excess glucose. So anytime we eat more carbs than our body can digest, than our insulin levels will let us digest, it's converted into glycogen. And glycogen is then stored into body fat. So now that we understand that excess glycogen is stored as body fat, we'll know why there's a very important difference between a simple carb and a complex carb. Simple carbs are digested the quickest by our body. Simple carbs are all sugars, fruits, and even refined complex carbohydrates. So rice that's turned white, bread that's turned white, all of these become a simple fast-acting carbohydrate. So these are obviously going to spike our glucose level the highest, and they're very important whenever we need energy now. Say when we've exerted ourselves after a workout, or we need a lot of energy before we go work out. That's when simple sugars and simple carbohydrates come into play, and they're very important for that. They're very important to aid in recovery that we need. But the problem is whenever we have simple sugars, whenever we're just relaxing around the house, or our body doesn't need to absorb glucose, is they're stored as fat. And with complex carbohydrates, which are sweet potatoes, whole grain rice in its natural form, brown rice, all of the whole grains, even nuts, they're absorbed more slowly into our body, and that gives us a more sustained energy level. So not only is it not spiking our blood sugar and being stored as fat, it's also giving us longer lasting, slower absorbing energy. So, whenever we're talking about losing weight and monitoring our body weight, the majority of our carbohydrates should be complex throughout the day. Hey guys, sun's pretty bright out there now, so I'll be dodging around, so bear with me. Um, Now, since we understand the way carbohydrates work and the way they affect our body, I'll go ahead and explain fats and proteins. Proteins are just a long chain of amino acids, and the main function in our bodies for proteins are muscle recovery, muscle growth. They help with antibody production, so they're going to help us fight illness and stay strong. They also are very important with simple things like your hair and your nails and your skin maintaining, your skin being in good shape. The majority of my protein in my diet is coming from lean chicken breasts, white fish, lean turkey, occasionally lean pork, and very occasionally red meat. Red meat has been known to increase carcinogen levels in our body, so potentially cause cancer. And red meat is very tough to digest. So I love steak. It's one of my favorite foods in the entire world, but it's rough on your stomach. And if you're dieting and you're really trying to get lean, it needs to be a treat and not something that you're having a lot. If you're a vegetarian, you're obviously going to be finding your protein in other areas, like from almond milk, soy supplements, things like that. Any way you approach it, protein needs to be a very large amount of your diet, around at least 40% a day. So that should cover it. I'll go ahead and move on to fats. Alright, so we've got a good feel for what carbs are and why protein's important. So I'll go ahead and end it with understanding fats and why fats are important and what fats we need to be eating and what fats we shouldn't be eating. Fats are important for a number of reasons. They're stored as energy, and they also provide our arteries with insulation. Fats are very important for increasing metabolic rate. Eating good fats is good for your heart. It's good for your blood. Fats that are found in healthy nuts and found in things like salmon and fish oil, which are monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, I believe, are what we need to be eating. They're also very good for oils. They're very important with hair production and nail production as well. What we really need to avoid are saturated fats and trans fats. So saturated fats are found in a lot of dairy, and even though bodybuilders and these crazy trainers have found that saturated fat increases growth hormone production in our body, so a lot of these guys are loading up on it, it can cause plaque and build up in our arteries and cause heart issues down the road, and also is another thing that's linked to cancer. I don't know if you know what trans fats are, but they're actually artificial. I think they were made just solely to increase the shelf life of bagged foods and refined foods, so you just got to absolutely stay away from that crap. So the good fats that we need, we can find in almonds, we can find in cashews, we can find in salmon, we can find in oils, and we have to have them in our diet. The fatty foods make for good snacks, so throughout the day, if you're dragging and you're trying to monitor those simple carbohydrates, a good snack is grabbing a handful of raw almonds and eating them.